Welcome back. I'm the Doc Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS and, of course, Bronx Net. And we have Katherine Soll on the line. She's the CEO and president for Teens for Food Justice. And we also have Joshua. We call him Josh Serrano. He's the senior marketing development manager. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, you guys are doing some great things. Teens for Justice. Tell us about it.
So Teens for Food Justice is an organization that works to train kids to be the leaders in a movement to eradicate food insecurity within a generation and to really address the unequal and really dramatic health implications of food insecurity and lack of fresh access to healthy food in your diet that primarily impact low-income communities and communities of color. And of course, we're really seeing that play out now in the coronavirus crisis as the communities that are being hit the hardest are communities of color. And in part, that's due to the fact that many people who are living in these communities are suffering from those health issues, such as diabetes and heart disease, which are really the direct result.
How has the pandemic affected Teens for Food Justice?
Well, we work with kids in schools across New York City. We train them how to build and run hydroponic farms, really large farms that grow food indoors in water, not using soil, and using really state-of-the-art technology. And our students are growing, thousands of pounds per year that gets distributed into their cafeterias for consumption every day at lunch, and also free and affordable distribution into their communities. Our students are learning about health and nutrition skills that they share with their communities alongside the food that they distribute, as well as learning how to advocate for a healthy food movement. Unfortunately, because of COVID and the closures of schools, all of our farms had to shut down. So we have not been able to continue growing in schools and have had to shift to remote work with our kids and other types of healthy food access interventions in our communities.
And Josh, you have to market all of this. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. So in normal times, we try to really make sure that people get a real-time sense of what's going on in these classrooms, in the farms, and also what our students are doing for their communities, producing for their communities in terms of what they're growing and selling, but also what they're advocating for, right? Which is healthy food access everywhere and really eradicating food deserts that sort of characterize a lot of the communities that our farms and our schools are in. So if you can imagine what that looks like for a nonprofit, it's basically elevating the voices of our students. Work, really.
And did you mention food deserts? Not desserts, but deserts.
Yes, food deserts, yes.
Yeah, explain that.
Yeah, so a food desert community is can be understood as a community where there is poor access to fresh, nutritious food. And it's usually coupled with a lot of access to things like fast food and outlets that sell a lot of processed and junk foods. But it's really hard to find a market somewhere where you can get fresh, nutritious produce. And food deserts tend to overlay in areas that tend to be lower income, tend to be people of color living there. So a lot of the same socioeconomic fault lines that exist overlap with food deserts.
Katherine, this is all over the place. I mean, people sometimes struggle to find healthy eating places, and sometimes you become conditioned to eat the foods that you're used to eating over the years. What should people know about obtaining healthy foods right now?
Well, there's a tremendous amount of emergency food provision going on through the city and through, all of the emergency food providers and organizations like ours that have pivoted to trying to get food to people at a time when the demand and the need for food assistance has grown exponentially as a result of the recession. One of the issues that I think everybody is struggling with across the city is ensuring that the food that we're getting to people in a crisis where so much of this food is being provided for free is ensuring that it is healthy. And a lot of the time it is not.
Yeah.
We are focusing on creating fresh food box distribution programs, which is something that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and doing those both free and affordably, really low-cost subsidized fresh food box distributions that are eligible for SNAP purchase, so that you can get a box of produce plus some shelf-stable items that enable you to make healthy meals at home, for like $5 to $7 a bag using your SNAP.
Yeah, and where do they go to get this food?
Right. So we're starting up those programs in Brownsville and on the Upper West Side within the next few weeks. In Brownsville, our partner is Collective Fare, which is located right in the heart of Brownsville. And on the Upper West Side, we're still identifying our location. And and it will be serving students who attend, families of students who attend the High School of Environmental Science, as well as families that live in the Amsterdam houses, NYCHA complex on
You
the
got it.
side. Yeah.
Do you, Josh, are you reaching out to volunteers? Do you need volunteers, or you need people to contribute? Do you need funds, or how do you get your funds?
Yeah, and Kathy, jump in with me here as well, because I think we will need a lot of volunteers when we're sort of figuring out how we're going to get all of the produce that we're growing delivered to a lot of the places that will be distributing it to the communities. So I'm sure there's a need for volunteers there. But in general, we are a nonprofit organization, so we're always fundraising, and we're always trying to raise money through individuals and also other government sources and private and grant foundations as well.
All right. If somebody wants to volunteer or donate money, how do they do it, Catherine?
They should write to info@teensforfoodjustice.org. And our website is www.teensforfoodjustice.org. And we have a donate page there, and also a contact links where people can write in to offer their time and as well as their financial support for the organization.
And thank you guys so much for all the work that you guys are doing in our community. We appreciate your service.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on the show.
Thank you. Teens for Food Justice, Katherine Soll and Joshua Serrano. Thank you guys so much. We love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, we'll take a break. We've got more coming up next. It's right here on Open.